Welcome, everyone. I think the mic is on. Yeah? Good. Well, it's a pleasure. It's the last stop of our world tour, as Courtney said. It's always good to be back in New York City. Some people who come to the summits know that's where I met my wife 25 years ago. So I have a bit of a, 25 years. For a French guy, it's not bad. You can say that. So I have a very special connection with New York. And I'm so happy to be here. This year I missed Munich because I had a knee injury, so I did only London, Paris, and New York, and I kind of recreated the narrative saying I only do Fashion Week cities. So let's get going. No, this is not the trailer of the latest Jurassic Park, and as you've seen, I am not Scarlett Johansson. But I love dinosaurs. These guys, for 165 million years, ruled the world. So if you think of this guy up there, he must be thinking, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm invincible, typical male. And the thing is that for you who kind of studied your science at school, this is what's left of this guy today. So, yeah, arrogant guys, always. And what happened is actually simple. One day, some meteors rained on Earth, and most of life disappeared. And typically, these guys were not able to adapt. They didn't change the way they did things. And what's left of them is a bunch of birds and stuff like that. So this is usually the point of the keynote where you guys are like, oh, this is another keynote where they try to come up with some stupid analogy and they bring back the dinosaurs. They want like me to think, I want you to think that you're a dinosaur because you're not changing fast enough and this and that, and ultimately I just want you to sign a contract. Honestly, everything is wrong but the contract piece. And what's interesting actually, it's not really the dinosaurs. It's more the meteors. And this is what we're going to focus on. Because back then, there were some meteors, and today, there are also meteors. They take a different shape. AI, tariffs, depending on the days, especially in New York. They said, Adrien, no politics in New York. So, inflation, pandemics. So you got all sorts of meteors coming down on you, on us, on the economy, and we need to adapt. At least that's what we think. And if we look at commerce, the world is not brighter in commerce. I mean, we started Mirakl 13 years ago, and back then, it was already, Amazon there, and this there, and new consumer behaviors, and social, and all these things that are really changing the paradigm in which we're trying to grow our business. You take social, $30 billion of sales on TikTok shops last year. $30 billion. That's not the kind of amount we can ignore. So if you think of commerce, it's ongoing adaptation. And what we've done with Mirakl is participate in this adaptation. But it doesn't stop. It never ends. So the question is, so what do we do about it? What's the plan? Are we going for little incrementality? We talked about this last year. Little there, I'll change my search engine. I'll put in a new OMS kind of stuff. And I'll be invited to Salesforce conference. They have good food and good drinks. No. Adaptation is not enough. There's this thing which says, the best defense is offense. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to be on the offense. We want you to accelerate. Why? I think the number one reason is actually because you can. And sometimes we tend to forget that. Like, I looked at the list of attendees. Frankly, you have some amazing retailers, amazing brands, people who have built stuff which is super hard to build. Customer loyalty, customer engagement, trust in your brand, infrastructure, ability to take a product and deliver it to customers in a way that works well. I mean, this is valuable. So the first reason why all of you have the potential to accelerate is that because you've spent a lot of years and money in building the infrastructure to be able to do so. So don't waste it. And I think the second reason is that it's fun. And if we sit there and just try to wait to see what the competitor does and we don't take risks, it's really boring. And ultimately, it rarely plays out in a great way. So acceleration, because you can, because it's fun, and because that's what we wanted to do also. So then, when we think about accelerating, it's not about running, it's not about going to the gym, etc. That's personal life. But when we try to think about what are the strategies, what are the stuff you guys can do to actually innovate. And here we cheated a little bit to give a bit of credibility to the keynote. We used some research from BCG. And they surveyed innovation leaders, and they asked them, where are you investing your dollars? I kind of like this survey because, as you can see, number 1, retail media. Number 2, marketplace. And the great thing is that we didn't pay any money to BCG for that, so that's even better. Makes it even more enjoyable. But so it's interesting because if you actually look at number 3, number 4, number 5, social commerce, customer service, fulfillment, all these topics are also impacted by platform strategies, by marketplaces. When you think about launching your marketplace and suddenly you're getting orders that are delivered and fulfilled by partners, customer service is a real topic. How do you scale that? How do you make it efficient? How do you maintain the quality that people expect from you in terms of service? When you think about fulfillment, it's the same. How do you invest potentially in Fulfill By and building a new revenue generation engine within your business if you're launching your platform? And social, I talked about TikTok shops. I mean, TikTok shops is nothing but a giant marketplace. So when I look at this data, I'm kind of saying number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 are all impacted by marketplace strategies. And so what's interesting is that when you think about marketplaces, and we've been talking about this for many years, it's at the center, it's the engine. And back in the days, people said, oh no, we don't want to be Amazon when we said marketplace. But today, the way people think about it has radically changed. People think about an engine that can kickstart a rocket ship for acceleration, and around which you're going to start to implement the components to drive monetization, to improve customer service, to think about how you engage with broader customers across more channels. So that's really interesting. It's this coming together. And we call this coming together the acceleration engine. And this is the pillar around which we have built this company since the get-go. If you are a retailer, a distributor, a manufacturer, a brand, a seller, you are at the center of this acceleration engine. You can use dropship, marketplace, other platform strategies to expand your assortment, to bring your distributors onto your platform, to consolidate your subsidiaries, to start selling with your partners. All these strategies around range extension, assortment expansion, this kickstarts the flywheel. Then you can implement new monetization strategies, and retail media, which is at the core of Mirakl strategy, is one of them. And it's growing faster than ever. It's a $100+ billion business today. So that's when you start introducing new revenue, more profitability. And then you also have AI, which is, and you'll hear from my team, so I don't want to spoil everything, but AI is at the center of how you optimize those processes, how you scale faster. Think about Mirakl Catalog Platform. Think about the things we're doing in financial services. Enhancing the experience, optimizing your processes. All this really comes together. And that makes this acceleration engine super interesting. And I think our goal, our objective, is to kind of bring you on and invite you to participate in this acceleration engine. You can be in different places, which is interesting. You can run your own platform. You can join other platforms. You can do both. You can monetize your capabilities around fulfillment, around financial services. We're seeing everyone really very intrigued and proactive in finding ways to join this revolution. And that's really interesting. And what's good is that the numbers talk to themselves. Last year, we drove more than $11 billion of sales for our clients. Our clients' revenues kept growing despite everything, the meteors, the this, the that, by more than 30%, which is way more than e-commerce, which was barely flattish. We have every year more and more customers who are joining the $100 million club in terms of incremental added new revenues. And it's not just $100 million, it's millions of transactions. It's new customers. Some of our clients report that 50% of people who buy from the marketplace are actually new customers, people who had never shopped from them before. Imagine, like we're talking about retailers that have been around for like 30, 40 years, or distributors, wholesale distributors. So it's really interesting to see how this strategy allows you to take your asset, take your brands, and build a much bigger grab of the market with that. So that's really interesting. And it works, it's scalable. On Black Friday alone, we transacted $100 million of transaction. Last year, 0 minute of downtime. So it works, it scales. That's quite exciting. And every year, we have a difficult challenge, which is that we select a few clients that we can talk about and share a little bit about what they're doing. So given we're in New York, we decided to talk a little bit about Macy's. Really want to highlight the growth that they've been able to build. If you look and listen to their earnings, we're talking about hundreds of millions of added revenues. We're talking about expansion across a number of categories. We're talking about 40% plus growth, which is exceptional in this context. And so this is really great. We also like to talk about Kohl's, because we worked really hard over the years with Kohl's to help the teams and work with the teams in terms of getting the project across the line and putting in place this transformation internally, which is not always easy. But now the performance is also wonderful, over 100% of growth last year. And it doesn't stop. So that's exciting. That's retail. But we're not just here to talk about retail. A lot of you are in other industries, whether a manufacturer or distributor. And I really like Toyota because we've been working with them for over 7 years now. I remember a meeting in Indianapolis a long time ago, and I was like, Toyota makes forklifts. So first of all, first I didn't really know what a forklift was. Then I was like, oh, really? They make this? I thought they did Prius and Lexus. But they had this idea to say, we have all these parts, and we don't really know who and how they're sold. We have these distributors, but we think something's happening in digitization and in the way people are buying. And we want to be a bit bold. We want to accelerate, and we want to build this platform where we could aggregate our distributor network and give them access to a new digital channel. And we said, okay, we're in. Took a few years to really get on the rocket launch trajectory, but now it's exceptional. The numbers keep doubling and doubling, and everything they're learning from this also in terms of buying behavior, in terms of engaging with their distributors, is really super exciting. So it's nice to see this model spread across a number of industries, all the way to our favorite of all, food. And we'll hear from Adrien later on stage, but a year later, a year ago, or more or less, we launched with Cisco, largest food distributor in the world, nothing less. And the numbers, again, here are really interesting. The sales are growing, but also to see the conversion rate, 40% conversion rate, which is kind of cool, especially when you work in retail. But also the adoption of new categories, the speed at which people are engaging, and Ajar was telling me yesterday that every day they reach more sales than the previous day. So it keeps growing. Every day is a brand best new day, which is kind of cool. So these are really interesting examples that show that the acceleration is in motion. It's happening. And recently we did a little thing on Google. We typed in Marketplace US just to keep track of all our clients that we're signing. And this is what came up. And so, I mean, think of me and all the teams. 13 years ago, we came up with this idea, hey, marketplace, the future of commerce. We got to the US. They said, what, French company doing technology? Like, what the hell? And now, a few years later, you go Marketplace US, and just in 2024, 2025, these are the launches. It's pretty cool. Really cool. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. It's good to have supporters on the front row. I actually just spotted one of our early investors on row 3, and he must be looking at this and thinking, dollars. Yeah. And there's many more of them. So every night I go to bed, I look at that slide, and I fall asleep like a little baby. But we're talking about acceleration. And acceleration starts with an A, and there is a buzzword currently that starts with an A also. What is it? AI. So yeah, at Mirakl, we didn't wait for AI to be the trendiest new pickup line in clubs to actually do AI. And I don't want to spoil the tech part of the keynote. But AI is at the center of everything we do at Mirakl today. The companies we buy to accelerate our product, the way we ingest AI in all our solutions, and you'll see stuff from our catalog ingestion, which is amazing. The way people work, the culture, 91% of people at Mirakl use AI on a daily basis and even know how to build their own agents. And for example, our One Help support desk has been completely revamped in a fully AI-first way. So AI is at the center of what we do, and it's not going anywhere. And the goal is to bring all of you more efficiency, more productivity, more innovation, better customer experience. But there is another word that starts with A, and just starts with A, which is really interesting because we believe that it is completely reinventing and reshaping commerce, whether B2C or B2B. It's agentic. And it took me a bit of time, given I'm just a CEO and a sales guy, to fully understand the dynamics there. But then I started to get calls from a lot of very established technology companies telling me, we want to participate in agentic commerce, but basically we're interested, like it seems Mirakl could be a great partner. Why? Because if you think of agentic, what is it? Tomorrow, after tomorrow, whether you go and buy through Perplexity, OpenAI, ChatGPT, or if you're going to buy from newly formed, purpose-built agentic apps, or if you buy from your traditional go-to retailer that has implemented agents to help you and improve your experience, what's really going to matter? What's going to matter? Well, AI agents, if they don't have access to the largest catalog in the world, like ChatGPT has access to all the information in the world, it's useless. So you need to be able to access this unified, universal catalog. And when you're going to place orders, whether you're placing them through any of those channels I've mentioned, ultimately someone is going to have to fulfill the order and have the product. And so you need to be able to route and distribute and orchestrate orders to the largest assortment of potential sellers. Let's call them sellers. And so you start seeing the thing. A large catalog that you unify, that you harmonize, that you can access to, an engine that allows you to take an order, distribute it to every party who potentially can fulfill the product. That starts to resemble some kind of miracle technology. We are the only technology out there that basically has been building for the last 13 years these capabilities around catalog integration, catalog unification, order distribution. It's not OMS, it's not front-end e-commerce, it's not PIMS. And this is what we've been building because we've always believed that the world was heading into this many-to-many paradigm. And so, because it's the last stop in New York, I wanted to give a little insight into what's going to be driving Mirakl's roadmap, and also already driving it, but the way we're going to keep on positioning the company. We are, and we want to build the commerce infrastructure for the agentic era. And we think, and I think, as the co-founder of the company, that this is a pivotal moment in the history of commerce, in the history of Mirakl, and it's going to be super exciting. So it's not just AI for the sake of AI, it's AI for continuous disruption, continuous acceleration, continuous improvement of your businesses, and for continuous improvement of your customers' experience. So the last thing is, I played with ChatGPT as we were preparing the keynote, and I say, can you create an image of a great company that is accelerating? And this is what came up. I don't know how we trained the model, but this is what came up. So once again, it's super cool to be here. Thank you very much. We're much better indoors than outside with the temperature. And I hope you're all ready to accelerate, or AI accelerate. And thank you once again for joining us.